Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we will be recreating these tie-dye hacks by Blossom. So I found this video by Blossom that detailed some cute little tie-dye hacks. And since a significant portion of my wardrobe is just pure tie-dye, I really wanted to test this out. But I guess everyone and their mother had the same idea because I drove to 3 different craft stores and they were completely sold out of tie-dye. It was even out of stock on Amazon. So finally I decided I would order a kit off the Michaels website. So when quarantine ends and people finally have better things to do than just tie-dye everything, you can pick up a kit of your own and replicate some of these hacks. Okay, they don't mention this in the video, but you should probably treat whatever you want to tie-dye with some type of color fixant like soda ash. That way the colors stay as vibrant as possible even after multiple washes. Here I have 1 gallon of water and I added about 2¼ grams of soda ash. I'm going to mix this solution very well until the soda ash is completely dissolved. Once you're done mixing your solution, you're going to dunk your white t-shirt in and make sure it's fully submerged, and then wring out any excess water so that the shirt is damp but not dripping at all. So it's really important that you actually dye your shirt while it is still damp. Let me explain why. So here we have 2 scraps of fabric, one of them is damp and one of them is completely dry. And I will be showing you how the dye reacts with each one slightly differently. As you can see, the wet shirt easily absorbs all of the dye and the dye is able to spread as much as it wants. However, in the dry shirt, the dye doesn't really spread that far and the shirt has trouble absorbing it. That means you would have to soak a dry shirt with 4 to 5 times more dye to get the same effect as just using a wet shirt. So even if you are too lazy or are unable to find some soda ash, at least soak your shirt in plain water before dyeing it. So in the first hack, they take a shoestring and wrap a t-shirt around it. It doesn't look like it, but I'm really trying to wrap it as tightly as possible. And then after wrapping it, they pull both ends of the string together to form this cute little donut shirt. Again, even though it doesn't look like it, it's actually really hard to pull this shirt tight. Okay, so now that I've made my donut, I'm tying a tight knot around it to keep it in place. So in the video, it sort of just looks like they haphazardly add dye wherever, so that's what I will be doing. They don't show this in the video, but it's really important that you flip your t-shirt and always dye both sides of any given design. The video says that you should let this sit. Well, they don't really specify for how long, so I let ours sit for about half an hour. The next hack uses a string and a washable marker to make an arc on your t-shirt. Then using the mark as a guide, scrunch up the t-shirt. So in the video, they section off parts of the t-shirt using, well, dental floss? Honestly, the only dental floss I own looks like that, so I can't do that. I'm just sectioning mine off with some twine. And now that that's done, I'm just going to be adding my dye. So the video never specifies whether or not we should let this design sit, but normally you're supposed to let tie-dye sit at least a little bit, so I let this sit for about 15 minutes before cutting the strings and revealing the art. And once that was all done, I went back to our original donut shirt and undid my little knot so that I could see just how this design turned out. So this final design is actually not included in the Blossom video, but I wanted to include it anyway just because I love it so much. So all you have to do is take a fork and start twirling in the middle of your shirt like you would for spaghetti. You can hold your shirt in place using some rubber bands. So this is going to create that classic tie-dye swirl that you think about immediately when you think of tie-dye. Now the trick is using the fork. I used to just use my fingers and twirl the shirt by pinching it, but honestly a fork is so much more precise for some reason, and it really makes that swirl way more defined. So some people like to use the rubber band sections as a guide for where you're supposed to add the dye, but I kind of like my swirls a little bit more haphazard and random. You could totally use the rubber bands as a guide if you wanted to, I just really like the random look. So after dyeing both sides, I'm going to let this sit for about 30 seconds only, and then immediately after start cutting the rubber bands. As long as you start off with a damp shirt and you use plenty of dye, this really only needs to sit for just a short amount of time. After unfurling all of my designs, I let the shirts dry overnight for at least 8 hours. After the shirt had dried completely, I just used a pair of scissors to cut up the shirt a little bit. I wasn't really going for a particular style with this shirt, I was just cutting it where I felt would make it look better. So this is the end result. I honestly love this shirt. I love the colors, I love the pattern, and it's a really great addition to my pajama shirt. I also made this cute little braided belt out of the shirt scraps. Okay, so this is what this t-shirt was supposed to look like, and honestly, my shirt looks nothing like that at all. If I had to guess, I'd say that maybe I let the t-shirt soak up the dye for too long. I'm just annoyed because if that's the case, then Blossom really should have told me how long to let the dye seep into the shirt for. Anyway, even though the design isn't exactly what it's supposed to be, I still like it, so I'm going to cut up the t-shirt to make it my own. I followed this tutorial, don't worry, I'll link it in the description box below. She explains it way better than I ever could, so if you like this particular design, go ahead and check that video out. So here's the final look. I really like how this one came out, and if I were to wear this, I would definitely wear it with a bathing suit, and that's what you see poking through underneath. It's really cute, and I love it. This particular pattern and colors kind of reminds me of a Caribbean ocean, so the fact that I would wear this as a bathing suit cover-up makes it all the better. So other than that little bit of green dye that I accidentally got on this t-shirt, it actually kind of looks like how it does in the Blossom video. This definitely has an ombre pattern where it starts out super heavily dyed up top and it gets progressively less and less colored as you go down. Again, I'm customizing this t-shirt by cutting it up. I used that same tutorial that I mentioned earlier, so if you like this design as well, go check out that video. So here's the final look of this t-shirt. I really like it. I like the colors, and I also really like the pattern. I like that little neck choker that's built into the shirt. It's really cute, and I really recommend this design. That's all for today's video. Please let me know which t-shirt was your favorite in the comments section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you in our next video.